lecture. And before I get into this very important lecture, I just want to spend a moment to thank all of my supporters, my subscribers, my members, my sponsors. You know, I got up this morning and my YouTube channel has reached well over 134,000 subscribers. And none of that would have been possible without all of my supporters. And I'm telling you, the only thing I'm gonna say about in terms of the growth of my channel is I've maintained consistency, dedication, and effort since day one. So I really do want to thank all of my supporters. The focus of this live stream lecture is I'm gonna give some insight into my guided tour trip that I made over to Cairo, Egypt. I was over there. I got there a little early, but I was in Cairo, Egypt from December the 11th through the 23rd of December 2023. And, there was a tremendous amount of behind the scene preparation in order to make that happen. Nothing just occur. But before I really get into this lecture, I just want to just kind of remind the audience or the viewers, as people chime in, I'm going to thank folks for listening in and chiming in. But one of my styles and one of my deliverance is I'm going to present my information. I'm going to acknowledge the viewers and supporters versus going back and forth into comment dialogue. Just everybody's style is different. This is my style. But I really do want to thank everyone for taking out the time to gain some insight, on a spiritual journey. I have been really had this trip to go visit Cairo, Egypt on my bucket list forever. Things in life, you put things on hold. Even though my daughter is fully grown, but getting her through high school, getting her through college, putting life on hold. So, once it came time for me to make this happen, I got in contact with my travel agent. I'm not promoting any particular travel agent, but I went through G Adventures. My travel agent is Sloan Patterson. She did a phenomenal job. We made plans behind the scene August of last year to book my trip to Cairo, Egypt for December of 2023. So, and I'm just gonna walk the viewer through in terms of, it was like a 8 or 9 day journey. I got there a day and a half early. I stayed a day and a half late. So, and I did that deliberately. And, in arriving there, that day one in Cairo, Egypt, and I'm going to literally read from my G Adventure description in terms of day one at Cairo, Egypt. When we first got there, there was a group of 10 of us. We all got there around about the same time. But when you're first getting there, it's really not anything planned at day one. It took about 24 hours for me to actually get from Clearwater, Florida to Cairo, Egypt, 3 planes. It was a lot of airtime. So when I first got there, there wasn't a whole lot planned because they're giving us time to get settled in. When I first arrived to Cairo International Airport, and I tell anybody, go through a travel agent. When you're going to a third world country and you don't know the culture, you don't know the language, there's no way I could have navigated through that airport. So they arranged for a transporter, a person who met me at the airport at Cairo International Airport and transported me from the airport. And that first day we stayed at the Pharaoh Motel. So got there. In terms of day one, they gave us time to get settled in. And there were a lot of optional activities we did in terms of, as the tour got kicked off, we explored a lot of Cairo, Egypt, agriculture, culture throughout, historical temples on that first day. They took us on a tour of the Coptic and Islamic Cairo, which is a lot of ancient Egyptian history. That guided tour was very knowledgeable in Egyptology. So that day one, we visit a lot of the ancient temples, the mosaic, and just soaking up the culture and etc. So that was a lot of time just being guided towards to visit some of those ancient Egyptian temples with everyone in my group in that in that guide who is Egyptian. We stayed initially when we got there at the Pharaoh Motel, and it was just really, they treated us like royalty, and I tell anybody when you're traveling abroad, do a package deal. My package deal included everything in terms of seeing the sights, the motel, the transportation, the food, everything. Day 2 in Cairo, Egypt, we enjoyed a visit to the Great Pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx before a guided tour to other Egyptian museums. We caught an overnight train to Oswan, which is another city within Africa, and that overnight train, that was a 4-hour train trip. In the evening, we boarded, still on day 2, on the evening, we boarded on an overnight train to Oswan. The overnight train is a modern air-conditioned sleeper with twin beds. There is they had like a shower, not a shower, but a sink that we could use. But before we left the motel, they board on the train, we took hot showers. So in the train, there was a shared toilet at the end of the carriage, a basic airline-style tray meal for dinner and breakfast is included. So all of that is included when we left Cairo to get on that train to go to Aswan. Also, they noted too that during Ramadan, the museum in the Egyptian pyramids were closed around 3 p.m. So we had to honor that. Again, we visited the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Sphinx Pyramid. We toured all that. The pyramid, to me, is considered one of the Great Pyramids or Giza is, to me, considered one of the 7 wonders of the world. It don't matter how many photos or documentaries you have seen, the first glimpse of these magnificent ancient pyramids will literally take your breath away. You will feel the presence of God. I don't care how many times you've seen on television, it's nothing like when you're there up close in person seeing those magnificent structures. In reality, in our guide told us this, and you see it when you're on location, the world thinks it's just those 3 major pyramids, but no, in reality, there are 9 pyramids out there. There are 9 pyramids out there when you get on location to the Great Pyramid of Giza. There are 9 pyramids. We also spent time, they took us to various Egyptian museums with over 10,000 pieces from every period of Egyptian history, including the treasures from the tomb of King Tut. We've seen all of that. The Massive Museum is a fantastic place to learn about the country, the whole entire country of Africa. Throughout all of that, we had free time. This is day 2. I mean, you get your money's worth, and I'm here to tell you, in terms of each day we're doing something different, but at the same time we had downtime throughout that time. Day 3, we went to Oswan, Africa, which is probably about 5 or 6 hours away from Cairo, Egypt. We explored the busy Oswan market, Nubian village. We explored the Nubian village of Africa. We enjoyed a home-cooked dinner with a local family, Egyptian food, home-cooked food. I met a lot of people from all over the world. Our train was due to arrive in Aswan early that morning because that was like a 4 or 5 hour train trip from Cairo to Aswan, Africa. So when we did all that, we had a little bit of downtime on day 3, and I'm telling you, it's just so much to see. Really, you need to be there for about a whole year to see really all of the ancient Egyptian history. We boarded a local boat to take a trip along the magnificent biblical Nile River. If you do not believe in God, you will believe in God when you ride on that biblical Nile River that predates Christ. The biblical Nile River flows through 11 or 12 countries. I met a professor, Egyptian professor, and they really don't know how old that biblical Nile River is. It could be older than the earth. They don't know. They don't even really know the source of that Nile River. They just let you know that God is in control of all of this. He ain't gonna release all of these answers to men. I don't care how much science it is in the world, they still don't know the source of the Nile River, and men don't know how old that biblical Nile River is. And we rode on that biblical Nile River. And there's also a lot of optional activities that we had an opportunity to partake in, especially on day 3. You know, there's some required activities we did and optional activities. So we sailed across that Nile River, and I'm telling you, it was just absolutely breathtaking. Still on day 4, we're in Oswan, Africa. We spent the entire day exploring ancient temples in Aswan. One of the most fascinating sites in the area is the Temple Abu Simbel. We later opted out to also seen other ancient temples within Aswan. I'm just telling you, it was just absolutely breathtaking. It really was. You know, going into day 5, we left Aswan and went to Luxor, Africa. We enjoyed a breakfast at a motel. We rode on a fluka, which is a boat that they ride on in Africa up and down the ancient biblical Nile River. And we basically explored little islands along that path on the Nile River, where people actually live on those little islands. And I mean, that was just absolutely, you know, breathtaking. Like I said, each day they had pretty much a full itinerary for us. We ate breakfast on day 6. We still on that ferry boat. We ate breakfast. I mean, we seen the sights. We seen stop on the various of islands throughout their journey. I'm telling you, this here, all I can say was to just witness all of the ancient history. We spent time on, I believe, day 6 or 7 in the Sahara Desert, the Valley of the Kings, going inside of those ancient tombs that even still today they are finding. They're finding tombs. You know, we literally saw them still digging in the Sahara Desert. So it's a lot that the world don't even know in terms of what they're finding over there. There's certain areas when you're going inside of those tombs, you can't take pictures with a flash, but you can use your cell phone, because the flash they discover over the years kind of how something messed up the hieroglyphics. So that's going into day 7 in terms of the Valley of the Kings in the Sahara Desert. Day 8, we spend more time in Luxor and Cairo, visiting many of the ancient Egyptian temples. You know, it was just absolutely breathtaking. You know, one good thing about the guide is she educated us along the way in terms of what to be careful of, because anywhere you go in the world, you're going to have your scammers. You're going to have the people approaching these tourism, you know, they're trying to rip you off on your money. But as long as you follow the guidance of the guide, who is the expert in her culture, you know, we had a very good guide, you don't have anything else to worry about. So, you know, all of these days, you know, we explored Africa. You know, Africa is a very huge country, and it's just fascinating how that Sahara Desert flows through 11 to 12 countries. I want to take a moment also to some of the people I met over there. I had them to sign my postcard. All of the individuals who were in my guided tour, they were from all over the world. Canada, Italy, just different places. But I met so many people. Turn them on to my channel. Carmen and Richard Bank, they were a couple that was in my guided tour. Jesse and Chelsea Humphreys was another couple in my guided tour. They were from Canada. Roman and Naga, I hope I'm saying her name right. There was another couple in my guided tour. And Azia Aman was our Egyptian guide, who was very knowledgeable in Egyptology. She lives in Cairo, Egypt. And then Suyu and her mother and father was also 3 other individuals in our guided tour. And I made a point to, I told them I was going to do an upload and call them out. You know, we just all gel together. You know, we all learn from each other throughout that whole process, and it was just absolutely amazing. The American dollar is a high value in Egypt. They do pounds over there, and I actually brought some of my Egyptian money. I can take this to my bank and get it converted by gold, but I'm gonna hold on to it. This is 100 pounds of Egyptian money. Another 100 pounds of Egyptian money. This is 50 pounds of Egyptian money. This is another 50 pounds of Egyptian money. This is 5 pounds of Egyptian money. Another 5 pounds of Egyptian money. And another 5 pounds of Egyptian money. At a certain point, when you get to Cairo, I spent time in London International Airport, Cairo International Airport. So when you actually get to that country, when you use your debit card, of course, it's going to give you their money. You won't their money, even though everything was included and they got it too. But you still want to have a little extra cash on you if you want to buy souvenirs or stop at a coffee shop. You know, during my free time, I literally spent a lot of time in the market square, just sitting around, observing people, meeting people, learning about the culture. Found out a lot about, you know, the ancient history, ancient Egyptian history. Learned a lot about the biblical Nile River and just the culture of Africa, the culture of Egypt. You know, because when we weren't doing things with the guide, and some of us returned back to the motel or either went to the nearby market square. So I utilized that time to learn just information from the everyday people in Egypt. And I learned so much about just the everyday culture of Egypt, Cairo, Africa. You know, it was just absolutely amazing. And I tell anybody, you know, make sure you travel light. You know, all of my people in my tour, they were lugging all this stuff around, but travel light, because you'll have time to wash your clothes when you're done towards the end of the day in your motel room. So travel light, so you ain't got to try to keep up with all of this stuff, because, you know, my number one agenda was to soak up that culture, to learn not to be worried about luggage, all this excessive luggage, and then you're sticking out like a tourism. You don't want to do that. So travel light, and of course, it's a given. You got to have a passport. You got to have a passport anytime when you're going out of the country. And also, when you are in the country, you got to have this passport on you everywhere you go. All of these different places we went on a daily basis. You know, at any given time, them military police or whoever, they're asking for the passport. So this passport is more important than the doggone luggage, because you're in a world of trouble if you lose your passport. So anytime you're traveling abroad, make sure you carry your passport on you. You keep that passport on you as if your life depends on it. My passport is good until 2026. You know, once I sell my home that I'm currently living in and buy what I really want, and then once I get all that out the way, I'm gonna call my agent again and book my next trip early on April or May of this year. So make sure your passport is updated. You got to make sure you sign your passport, and I wasn't aware of that until they pointed it out to me. There's an area on here where you got to sign your legal signature on this passport. Once I got to Cairo, Egypt, if you are coming in from another country, before you leave that airport, you have to have a visa. They give you a visa. That government know who's coming in and they know who's coming out. You have to have a visa to enter that country. They have to know your purpose for being there. And then prior to leaving, you have to go through them again, and they have to stamp that visa again so it can show that you're leaving their country. So that's real important. There's no way I could have navigated this trip going through a travel without going through a travel agent, because they're gonna make sure the minute you get off that plane that there's someone there to meet you there, to take you to where you need to be, somewhere from that culture. They all are linked into that travel agent, so you ain't got to be worried about nothing. You ain't got to be trying to figure out what's what, because if by not being connected with a really good travel agent and a tour guide and a guide, you'll be sitting out, sticking out like a sore thumb, and you don't want to run into any problems in a whole nother country. And I'm here to tell you. So again, the focus of this lecture is to give everybody some insight on my guided tour to Cairo, Egypt. That was a spiritual journey. I made a lot of Egyptian connections, and I noticed that my YouTube channel, especially when I went over there, my numbers, and they're still rising. My subscriptions are rising and rising and rising and rising as a content creator. But I also want to put emphasis on that the growth of my channel also is directly linked to all of my hard work that first couple of years of my YouTube channel. Because you gotta put in the work. That I can remember that first couple of years, that first year and a half, I worked extremely hard to develop the core foundation of my YouTube channel. That first 1,000 natural subscribers, and everything else after that is just building on top of the other. Right now, my channel is well over 134 plus thousand subscribers. I'm getting a lot of international subscribers. You can go in and look at analytics on your channel, and I'm getting a tremendous amount of international subscribers, people who are following my channel. And one of the people in my tour guide, an Asian woman, it was her, the husband, and the daughter. But I was doing a lot of live stream blogging over there, especially as I was inside of those ancient Egyptian temples, in those ancient tombs. Check out a lot of my live footage on my YouTube channel, and many of people in my tour guide, they will be standing next to me while I'm narrating what I saw on site, on location, bringing it live. And many people who were listening to my narration, not just in my tour guide, but people around me in that area, they were just so impressed on how I was able to narrate it as if I studied ancient Egyptian history, but I basically just narrated what my eyes saw. And I narrated in terms of the Spirit of God and the presence of God that I was able to feel, and to narrate going delving deep, descending into many of the ancient tombs of Ramses the First, Ramses the Fifth, Ramses the Sixth. I did a powerful narration when I was on the biblical Nile River, which is the blood life of Egypt. You read about that Nile River in the Bible, and I'm telling you, it was definitely a spiritual awakening to witness many of the 7 wonders of the world, the Valley of the Kings, Ramses the Second, the Fifth, the Sixth, the Egyptian, that Egyptian history, the Nile River, the great pyramids of Giza, the pyramids of the Sphinx, and to witness the 9 pyramids that those other sits that they don't talk about. And I'm here to tell you. And there's no way, you ain't gonna learn this in school. Take a look at some of my live footage when I'm up and close, and you can see the color or the hieroglyphics inside of those ancient tombs that are well over 4,500 years old before Christ. I can witness that in the brightness of that color. And it's amazing how the ancient Egyptians were able to erect those tombs inside of the Sahara Desert, hidden for years before man found those tombs. All I can say is you need to check out that live footage, There was a very good friend of mine. There was a particular narration I did on one of the ancient Egyptian tombs, and she literally said that it just gave her chills to listen to my narration, because I was literally walking in the footsteps of the ancient Egyptians, and it was absolutely breathtaking to be able to witness that. I want to give all thanks and glory to God for giving the ancient Egyptians the magnificent knowledge, skills, and ability to erect those magnificent structures that still holds mysteries still today. I don't care with all of the technology in the world, all of the science in the world, still today, they do not know how those ancient Egyptians erected those magnificent structures. And they would never find out. And because, number one, they were guided by the Spirit, they were guided by God. You know, those 7 wonders of the world is bigger than man, bigger than technology. You can see those magnificent pyramids from outer space. And all I can say is you have to go over there in person to see it. You know, the documentaries and what they show in documentaries and in pictures serves no justice when you see it with your own eyes. And I'm here to tell you, it's just absolutely breathtaking. You know, this is a trip that I've been planning for a long time. You know, it has nothing to do with being a content creator. This here was a spiritual journey, and I will never forget this as long as I live. It just so happened that I'm also a content creator, so it made sense to bring it to you live, up and close, and I'm here to tell you. Again, you know, I just want to thank all of my supporters and my subscribers for supporting my channel. You know, the trajectory path of where my channel is taking me, I'm gonna just be guided by the Spirit. But I do want to point out that you know, my YouTube channel is just one little piece of what I'm working on for 2024. My focus is to continue to elevate my company, Paris and Associates Resource Center, and continue to promote my book, Awake Financial Freedom, which was recently now available in audiobook. And, you know, I talk about in that book, in my Awake Financial Freedom, in terms of it is critical, and I tell anybody, it is critical that you get in control of your debt to income ratio. You know, eliminate debt so you can increase your wealth, your financial portfolio, so you can have more disposable income to do things like to begin to travel to see the 7 wonders of the world, because there's more to life than just working. And I really saw that. I really saw that when I took my spiritual journey to Cairo, Egypt, and when I seen the great pyramids of the Giza, when I literally walked into the footsteps of the ancient Egyptians inside of the Valley of the Tombs. You know, people spend more money going to Vegas. People spend more money going to Walt Disney World in Florida, and trust me, I didn't spend anywhere near that amount to go see many of the 7 wonders of the world, and I will never forget that experience as long as I live. It was a spiritual journey, and I'm here to tell you. So there's more of a reason, you know, that everything I've been talking about in terms of the concept of my channel, in terms of controlling your money, your finances, getting rid of debt, so you can have more disposable income to go see this world, to go see the 7 wonders of the world, and tied into being a content creator. And you know, my channel now is getting to a point where, you know, all I'm really now focusing on as a content creator is my content. I don't worry about no analytics. I don't worry about, you know, editing and analytics. No, I just focus on my content and my deliverance, staying true to the true mission, goals, and objective of my channel. I ain't worried about what nobody else is doing. I'm just focusing on my content, the mission, goals, and objective of my channel. And I'm going to say this again. I want to thank all of my supporters and my sponsors and my members. You know, I believe I'm at 5 members, but amassing a whole lot of members is not the primary focus of my channel. That is not. My primary focus is my content. If a person join my membership, that's fine. If they don't, they don't. If they do, they do. But amassing membership is not the trajectory path that I'm taking my channel. But I do want to thank my 5 members. I want to acknowledge my 5 members. But I said a long time ago, amassing a whole lot of memberships is not the focus and agenda, primary agenda of my YouTube channel. My primary focus is to share my knowledge, skills, life experience, thought-provoking, motivational topics to the world, not just members, but to the world. And that's the trajectory path I'm going to continue to take my channel, and that'll help me to maintain a balance as a content creator. Because again, being a content creator is just one aspect of what I do. My primary focus is my company in marketing and continue to market my book to drive sales. So again, I'm going to encourage everyone to check out many of my live stream on-site location of live footage of many of the ancient Egyptian temples that I witnessed, the Great Pyramid of Giza, the biblical Nile River. I did a couple of video uploads on that biblical Nile River, on various museums that we went to see. Also, I did a few live footage of just me sitting around in Cairo Egypt Market Square, just interacting with people, watching people, talking to people. They have what they call Turkish coffee in Cairo, Egypt, and you can only get it over there. And they serve it to you in a small cup, and it's an acquired taste. I mean, it's just super. It's like a rugged taste, like a grainy taste, you know. And it's just you gotta sip it. You can't drink it. You gotta sip it, and you don't put anything in it. You just gotta sip it. But it's like a grainy, rugged, thick, strawberry type Turkish coffee that they drink it over there all the time. I had it a few times, as I was sitting in the market square talking to Egyptians in Cairo, Egypt, and just sucking up the culture and etc. So again, check out some of my live footage. And again, I want to just thank all of my supporters, my subscribers, and just some pointers also I want to talk about briefly in terms of the growth of my YouTube channel. I was talking to a friend of mine about the growth of my YouTube channel. I don't know if you all are aware, September of 2023, which was only just a few months ago, September of 2023, my YouTube channel, and I was literally talking to somebody about this, I only had about 1,200 subscribers, September of 2023. I clearly remember that, because September of 2023 is when I officially retired. September 2023, I officially retired and relocated to the state I'm in, and I clearly remember only having a little over 1,200 subscribers, September of 2023. So from September to 2023 to January 2024, so you're talking about a little over 3 months, I went from 1,200 subscribers to 1,034,000 subscribers within about 3 months. And I'm telling you, I believe what was the catalyst behind that is my blood, sweat, and tears of the first 2 years of my YouTube channel, of me being out there in the trenches hard, and I mean hard, marketing my channel, getting people in the natural environment to subscribe to my channel. I remember the first year of my channel, I only had like 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers in a whole year. Going into that second year, I was still working there at the time. I remember that second year for about 11 or 12 months, every day after work, every day on my lunch break, on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, I would spend 6-7 hours on Saturday, 6-7 hours on Sunday at a local gas station on my lunch hour, in the trenches, meeting people in the real world, marketing my channel, getting people to subscribe to my channel on the spot. There was a certain point where I was gaining well over 100 natural subscribers a month for almost 12 months. So that means I was literally walking up to 100 plus people in the real world, 100 plus strangers every month into the real world, engaging them in dialogue, and getting them to talk about themselves. And later on, I will let them know I had a YouTube channel, and I literally was able to get over 100 natural subscribers a month for almost 12 months, and that gave me my first 1,000 plus subscribers. And that's the core foundation of my channel right there. Not that 133,000. No, that first 1,000 is the core foundation of my channel. And everything just evolved from that. I will never forget that first 1,000 subscribers. Those people I met in my zip code. And couldn't go nowhere in my zip code without running into those 1,000 people. And I would engage them and follow a dialogue. Those 1,000 natural subscribers set the stage for everything else, similar to the Great Pyramid of Giza. When I saw that magnificent structure up close, the base of that pyramid, the base, the Egyptologists told us that the ancient Egyptians spent about 20 years building those pyramids. But the base of the Egyptian pyramid is the foundation, it's the core of all the other layers. And I say that to say the base of the core, your foundation of anything that you do got to be rooted, and it's got to be strong. Similar to my YouTube channel, the base of my channel, that first 1,000 natural subscribers, I did blood, sweat, and tears meeting those people, engaging those people, getting them to subscribe to my channel. And that is why I have no doubt, because my channel is solid and strong, the base, and everything else comes after that. That took blood, sweat, tears, dedication, effort, consistency to get those first 1,000. And later on, I found that many of those 1,000 natural subscribers were running my playlist on their own accord. And I was noticing in that second year, then my watch hours began to rise and rise and rise and rise and rise. They send me ongoing comments. A lot of those 1,000 people, because I've had so much follow-up dialogue with them, I know them on a personal level. That is the foundation of this channel, people. Not that 100, not that 1,033,000. No, that first 1,000 is the core foundation of my channel. That first 1,000 has a direct impact on why Marie Holiday now has 134,000 subscribers. In the trajectory pathway, God is going to take this channel. It's going to be limitlessly. But again, I tell anybody, maintain your consistency, your dedication, and your effort, because in the beginning, my channel was moving slow. And I remember when I had 2 subscribers. After the first year, I only had 100 subscribers. So imagine if I would have stopped. Imagine if I would not have been internally driven. You got to be internally driven as a content creator. And now it's to the point now where I'm getting all of these international subscribers, and my numbers are rising and rising and rising, because I put God first. I stay true to the mission, goals, and objective and agenda of my channel. I don't stray away from that. Don't care what other folks are doing. I don't align myself with any content creator channel that's dramified, negative, pessimistic. I can collaborate, but at the same time, I'm gonna be standalone. That's just basic business 101. But I want to give all of the credit first to that first 1,000 natural subscribers that I met in the natural environment. And mind you now, that was not an easy feat. I was still working. That was before I retired, working long hours on my job, Monday through Friday. I had to sometimes cover weekends. I had to drive 125 miles every day to get to work for years. And I still, at the end of my day, I would go to that gas station every day after work, every day on my lunch hour, hours on the weekend, to cultivate and to develop and to nurture and to grow my channel. That is how my channel has gotten to the point where it is right now, 134 plus 1,000 subscribers. But I don't want to negate the fight of all the blood, sweat, and tears I did behind the scene to get this channel to where it's at right now. And I still, even when I'm going somewhere in the natural environment, I'm not out there in the field at that level, but anytime I leave my house, I don't care where it is. I don't care if I'm going to the gas station, the grocery store, running errands to the bank anytime I leave my house, because you're going to meet people in the natural environment. I'm always marketing my business. I'm always marketing my YouTube channel. I'm always marketing my book. I got business cards for my book, business cards for my company, Parents and Associates Resource Center. When I'm engaging people in dialogue, I'm turning them on to my channel. When I spent almost 2 weeks in Cairo, Egypt, I met so many people from all over the world. I turned them on to my channel. I met Egyptian content creators. I turned them on to my channel. So I say that to say there's a big old wide world out there. You got to get it from behind your phone and get from behind social media and go out there in that big old wide world and meet people in the natural environment and engage them in real dialogue, in real discussion, and promote your brand, to promote your company, to promote your channel, to promote your services. That's basic business 101. I've been seeing that for the longest. If you would go look at a lot of my prior videos, I talked about some tips and strategies on how to grow your channel. And I keep saying the same thing. You got to get out there and you got to market your channel, you market your service, market your brand, and market your business in the real world. And I'm telling you, you will begin to see the growth of your channel. You will begin to see the watch hours grow on your channel. You will begin to see your subscriber count grow on your channel. You begin to see the views grow on your channel. There's a big old wide world out there, and I can attest to the fact that is the formula behind in terms of where my channel is right now today, and I'm here to tell you. And I'm telling you, and also, know what the mission, goals, and objective of your channel is. The core concept of my channel. I may talk about other topics, thought-provoking, inspiring, educational, motivational topics, but the core foundation of my channel, the concept of my channel, is that money piece, how to rise above your financial situation, how to budget. It's all about understanding your debt to income ratio. That's the driving force behind my channel. You can go listen to my very first video, and I share my testimony in regards to how I rose from financial destruction to financial freedom. That's the core foundation of this channel. I may talk about other thought-provoking, motivational, inspiring topics, but I'm going to always revisit the core concept of my channel. The core concept of my channel tied to my book, Awake Financial Freedom. It all ties in. The core concept of my channel and my book also ties into the mission, goals, and objective of my primary company, Parents and Associates Resource Center, where I go into an executed contract for people who want to hire me to develop their strategic business plan. Because there's a business side to writing a book, there's a business side to your YouTube channel, and you got to have a business plan in place, whatever goal you're trying to achieve with your business, your YouTube channel, your company. It all ties in, and that was deliberate. And that was strategic from day one. And I'm here to tell you. My company, Parents and Associates Resource Center, is well over 20 plus years old, been around long before YouTube. So that's my primary, is my company. So I tell folks, if you want to see growth in your channel, you got to have a business plan in place. You got to know what the mission, goals, and objective of your channel is, the concept of your channel, and everything you do should some kind of way tie into the foundation and the concept of your channel, and get out there in the real world to market your channel, to enhance and cultivate your channel, because you meet people everywhere you go. I met so many people when I went to Cairo, Egypt. So many people, not just in my tour guide. I met people in the motel. I met people when I was on the market square. I met people as I was walking inside of the ancient Egyptian temples, the ancient Egyptian tombs. I met so many people to the point where I'm at the airport, on the plane, at the various different airports, and you better believe I turned them on to not just my YouTube channel, I turned them on to my business, I turned them on to my book, Awake Financial Freedom, and that has a direct impact on increased revenue for my company, that has a direct impact on increased sales of my book, and it has direct impact on the growth of my channel. There is a big old wide world out there, and I'm telling you, every day when you leave your house, whatever service you have, or company you have, or brand you have, you should be marketing your stuff. You should be engaging people into discussion. Even when you're standing in line at the grocery store, get off the phone and engage people. Engage the person in front of you. Engage the person behind you. Engage that cashier. All it takes is a second. That's all it takes is a second. And you will begin to see areas grow, the growth of your company or your business or your YouTube channel or whatever product or service you have. That's the secret right there. That's it. I keep saying the same thing. That's the secret right there. And for the past couple of months, you know, every morning I'm waking up, my numbers are rising and rising and rising and rising, literally. And I really believe that ties into what I just said, and me doing the footwork, the blood, the sweat, and the tears, and not straying away from the mission, goals, and objective of my company, of my YouTube channel, and of my book. This thing is real. This is Basic Business 101. So, you know, I'm looking forward to, you know, presenting ongoing content on my YouTube channel. You know, as I, you know, position myself to take my next guided tour. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna market. I'm gonna live stream based on where I'm going. You know, it just all ties in terms of what you got to know the what behind what you do as a businessman or a businesswoman. So again, I just want to give some personal insight on my guided tour to Cairo, Egypt. I'm going to hold on to my Egyptian money. Every country I go to, I'm going to hold on to their money and add it to my collection. The value of this money is not a whole lot in the United States, but it does have value in Cairo, Egypt, and I'm here to tell you. And I'm going to always, every time I go on my guided tour, I'm going to get whoever's in my guided tour to sign a postcard from that country. I never forget these individuals who, you know, spent almost 2 weeks with me in that guided tour to Cairo, Egypt. And I just want to give, you know, Azia, the Egyptian guide, she did a phenomenal job in giving us the history of ancient Egyptian history. They don't teach this in school, people. They don't teach this in school. Ancient Egyptian history. And it was just absolutely breathtaking. I would never forget these individuals as long as I live. I really won't. I would never forget them. And I also want to thank again my travel agent, Salome Patterson, who worked very hard behind the scene to give me the best package deal to my guided tour to Cairo, Egypt. Explained everything, every step of the way, made sure she was actually thinking ahead than me, because I actually ended up going to Cairo, Egypt like a day and a half before the tour kicked off. And I remember probably about a few days before it was time for me to leave, she called me up. She said, wait a minute, if you're going to be in Cairo International Airport a day and a half early, we got to make sure your transporter is there a day and a half early to pick you up, to drive you from Cairo International Airport to the Pharaoh Motel. Because there's no way I could have done that. There's no way. There's no way I could have done that. So little things like that. And I really do, again, I'm not promoting any particular travel agent, but all I know is what I experienced. It was nothing but the high level of professionalism. And I'm going to stay in the loop with my travel agent as I continue to go to other parts of the world, to see this world on an ongoing basis when it's time for me to do it. So again, that's all I have on this powerful lecture in terms of insight on my guided spiritual tour to Cairo, Egypt. I gave some tips and strategies on the growth of my channel. I want to thank all of my supporters and my subscribers, my viewers, my members, and my sponsor for supporting my channel for almost or a little over 3 years. And I have no doubt, you know, in terms of the trajectory path on where God is going to take my channel. I'm just going to follow the spirit. Ain't going to even worry about it. I'm just going to focus on my content, and I'm going to focus on making sure I maintain a balance as a content creator. And that's so important. Make sure you're maintaining a balance as a content creator, Because, you know, YouTube should not be your life. The camera should not be rolling on you 24/7. Because there's, you know, social media is the fake world of social media. You know, you come on, do what you got to do, and deplug and move on with the rest of your day. And I'm here to tell you. So that's all I have. I do want to thank all of my supporters for listening in to this live stream lecture. Share this live stream lecture. You know, some content creators may need to hear some of these pointers I talked about in terms of the growth of my channel and the trajectory path on where God is going to take this channel. It's going to be limitlessly. So that's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.